what's really powerful is here is that profile of Simone. We can see, hey, she's from Virginia, but we can start building up what we call affinities to get a better idea of what Simone is specifically interested in, right? So in this case, we see that she's into accounting and finance. We can start capturing information about, hey, what kind of salary is she looking for? Does she want a remote job? What's her experience level? And then we can start seeing all the different attributes on her and then what she's actually looking at on that website. So we can get a better idea of what we should be serving up to her from a content perspective.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Salesforce for Recruiters. I'm your host as always, Brad Owens, and I was like you. I was a recruiter for 10 plus years using all sorts of various pieces of technology that never really fit what I hoped a piece of technology would do. And then I saw Salesforce. Holy crap, where has this been all my life? And since then, I've been trying to help people understand what Salesforce can really do for the recruiting industry. So much so that I made amazing friends at Salesforce, like the one you're going to meet today, Miss Laura Beckstead, who happens to be on the marketing side. I reached out to her and I said, hey, I know there's really cool stuff that Salesforce is doing right now that would apply so well to recruiting. I'd love if you could take me through some of the cool new stuff and educate me and you all at the exact same time. So Laura, thank you so much for wanting to say yes and for coming on and helping us out.
Yeah, super excited to be here, Brad. I'm really excited to kind of talk through how Salesforce thinks about recruiting and staffing in the industry. I specifically work solely in the staffing industry, so I'm working with tons of different staffing clients day to day. And I think a big thing that staffing companies are really looking for is kind of that extra level of personalization. So I'm going to walk through a couple of different things with you today to kind of showcase how we can get down into that granular level for recruiters and for candidates as well.
Yeah, I love it. So one of the interesting things that I know you and I were talking about, but we hear constantly, is how important personalization is for recruiting. So I know you all have some really cool tools for that. So first, I'd love to see what you've got here. I think this is a website pulled up that could be a employer or a recruiting firm that has jobs or maybe something like that.
Yeah, so this is Pacifica. This is a fictitious staffing company, if you will. Basically, what we do is we work alongside of, if you can imagine, employers and candidates. So we're doing both B2B as well as B2C. The great thing about Salesforce technology is that we really handle both sides of the business, right? So if you're trying to market to the candidate, we've got that covered. If you're trying to market to the employer, we as well have that covered. So Pacifica is essentially a staffing company here. And this is just a generic website, right, that we are looking at in this specific scenario. But the nice thing that we can do here is, let's say a big use case is staffing companies today are doing a ton of advertising, right? When I talk to my customers, they're doing advertising on LinkedIn, they might be doing it on Instagram, on Facebook, on Google. But you've probably seen them. You get an ad, right, from a company. And if you're looking for a job, you drill in on that ad and it takes you to the website, right? So in this scenario, let's say that it was a finance ad, right? And what the really cool thing about this Salesforce technology is, if I'm in the industry, or in the market, I should say, for finance, what we can do is we can have this site personalized specifically when I land from that ad onto the website, finance related. So you'll see here is that generic site, but if I came in through a finance ad, for instance, now I'm getting that tailored personalization message showing me, well, hey, what are the finance jobs, if I'm a candidate in this case, that might be relevant to me. So down here, I can even kind of see different recommended jobs, and you'll notice that they're all finance related. Now, the cool thing about this is Pacifica might not even know who I am at this point, right? Maybe I haven't digitally raised my hand yet. I haven't said, hey, my name's Laura Beckstead. But the fact that they know that I clicked on that finance ad and landed to their website, I'm going to get this finance related material, which is super cool.
Yeah, that's amazing on a couple of different levels. First, like, the candidate doesn't have to waste their time searching through and being like, okay, what jobs are finance? What do they even have? What do they even specialize in? Like, this, to me, as someone who's looking for a new job, would be an incredible time saver.
It's a big time saver.
And then on the company side, normally when you're putting together a website, right, you're wondering, hey, I wonder who I want to cater this to and what I want it to look like. Now, every single person that comes to your site is getting the perfect experience of your site. So it looks like it's tailored specifically for them. So you developed one site, and now all of a sudden your site fits every single niche you were hoping it would.
100%. And that's the thing that I think customers today are really picky in the content that they get, right? We've heard this for years, but being able to let the customer, or in this case, the candidate, know that you are aware of what they're interested in and that you know about them more, I think that really intrigues them and gets them excited. But here, basically, when I click into the view finance jobs, right, we're gonna again get tailored personalization content here towards that finance role, right? So when I come down here specifically, I'm gonna see roles that are again tailored towards that, in this case, like finance analyst. So if I'm interested in a specific role and I drill in and I wanna take a look at, hey, is this something that I'm interested in? It's going to basically do a pop-up when I go to exit that website. So what's really neat is if I didn't actually do the call to action and decide, well, hey, this is a job that I'm interested in, I want to apply for, because we don't yet know who I am and we don't know my name, what's really cool is called exit intent, but we're able to basically see that mouse go towards the exit button, and we're able to then pop up this form fill, if you will, to basically say, hey, give us your name, give us your information so that maybe we can start messaging jobs to you on different channels. So as soon as I fill this out, right, this is when I become that known person, and now Pacifica knows me and they can start messaging me on all of the different channels and tailoring that finance role specifically to what I'm interested in.
I like that. So someone who may not understand the entirety of the Salesforce platform is looking at this and saying, this isn't Salesforce. Like, this isn't the clunky interface where I enter in contacts. This isn't Salesforce. Look at the bottom there, y'all. It says powered by Marketing Cloud Personalization. So tell them how this stuff in the back end is actually working. What's this running on?
Yeah, so this is running, this is Marketing Cloud Personalization, right? The way that we're doing this is we're putting a little bit, we have Java on the back end, right, to kind of basically look into and the different tracking of what we're doing. So when I'm doing all of these different clicks, right, it's basically capturing that information, learning more about me, so then I can throw up content that's relevant. So if I go over here, I'll actually go to the technology itself to show you. This is Marketing Cloud Personalization, which is part of the Marketing Cloud umbrella. But if I come in here and I'm just going to search, let's say my name was Simone, for instance, and let's say I filled out that form as Simone. What's really powerful is here is that profile of Simone. We can see, hey, she's from Virginia, but we can start building up what we call affinities to get a better idea of what Simone is specifically interested in, right? So in this case, we see that she's into accounting and finance. We can start capturing information about, hey, what kind of salary is she looking for? Does she want a remote job? What's her experience level? And then we can start seeing all the different attributes on her and then what she's actually looking at on that website. So we can get a better idea of what we should be serving up to her from a content perspective.
This is so next level. This is just insane. So one of the things that became so eye-opening for me on the Salesforce platform is you can see bits and pieces in here of how this tech was kind of developed. So on the left-hand side, you've got like lifetime value for purchases and orders. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, this technology was probably dedicated towards those sites that are going to sell people stuff. But think about the recruiting industry. The recruiting industry sells, I mean, it sounds bad, but it sells people, right? It sells jobs. It sells applications. We still have an end goal. Our end goal as a recruiter isn't for someone to buy something. It's for us to get that match. We're taking that exact same technology that powers some amazing like online shopping powered type things, but we're using that to our advantage. This is what people don't understand. I love this.
100%. And I almost think that this is, I mean, people are more valuable, right? If you hire someone who is not a good fit, that can really impact a company, right? You think about a small business, especially, one bad hire is going to impact very badly. Same with even a big business as well. So that's why this is so important to really know and understand the different skill sets, the different experience, what someone's looking at, so that you place them in that right job, which we do a great job of knowing more about them so that we can then tailor them to the right opportunity.
Love it. It's amazing.
But what's really great about this too is we can use this information once we know more about Simone Bailey, right? We can not only tailor our content on the web and make it more personalized like you just saw on the website, but we can also do what are called journeys within Journey Builder. Let me pop over here to basically put them on a journey to tailor them to, let's say, through that hiring process. So if they're in an interview process from a candidate perspective, we might want to put them in a journey to basically send them messaging that's appropriate to them leading up to them getting the job. If their employer, for instance, maybe we want to get them to, if we think about a company that is posting jobs on their website, maybe we want the employer to post more jobs, to sponsor more jobs. So maybe we put them on an employer journey. So we have what's called Journey Builder within Marketing Cloud that basically allows you to decide what type of journey you want someone to go on. So in this case, let's look at this employer nurture journey. This is Journey Builder right here. This is where I have all these different components off to the left that I can simply just drag and drop over to my canvas. And then this is my journey that I'm building. So if I want to take a candidate through a journey and give them set messaging up to them landing a job, maybe when they've been hired for a part-time job and we want to fill another role, we can then put them on a nurture journey for, hey, your project's coming up, let's put you on a different role. But we can also do it on the employer side of the business as well. So I talked earlier about how this can be B2B, B2C, but in this case, right, we're pulling in employers, and then we might be nurturing them, in this case, to get them to actually post a job, right? We want them to post more jobs. A lot of the money in staffing is on the employer side of the business, right? So when you post a job, we can do different decision steps to kind of see like, hey, did they actually post a job? Did they not? If they didn't, we'll keep sending them emails, right? And the cool thing about Journey Builder is we are omni-channel as well. So we don't just do emails, but we also handle things with SMS, WhatsApp as well, which is big in the staffing industry, push, and then we have advertising. So we really can kind of tailor that personalized message to our employers, to our candidates on all different levels.
I like that. I mean, it's not a lot of the standard applicant tracking systems out there have, hey, we can send a text or an email. Like, great. Look at all the extra things you can do in Salesforce. So the amount of times that you can touch base with someone, the amount of decisions that you can make based on that. I mean, you could see in the journey that you built, there's, hey, did they open this email or not? If they did, do this thing. If they didn't, do that thing. And then not only just that, let's say they didn't open it. Okay, let's find the exact subject line that's going to make them open this thing. And you A/B test the subject line, and then you pass it through for the rest. Like, the amount of customization and how detailed you can get in this thing is just unmatched outside of Salesforce. It's incredible.
Really is. And the nice thing too is there's integration as well to our sales and service cloud tools, right? So a lot of times we find customers are going to switch on to Marketing Cloud because they want that really tight integration with their sales cloud org or their service cloud org, for instance. So if a new lead comes into the system, let's say we were marketing to them, they sign up, we want to nurture them before we send them over to sales. Maybe we send them right over to sales. There's always scenarios for both. But we do have the ability here, right, to add them as a campaign member onto a sales cloud. Maybe we want to create a lead. Maybe we want to send a task to the recruiter to say, hey, this person just did an interview. Or if we did a survey and we want to send information over to the recruiter like, hey, they just submitted this survey. We can send that information over to Sales Cloud so that the recruiter knows exactly where they are in their journey.
Yep. And for those of you who are new to this whole doing recruiting inside Salesforce thing, your applicant tracking system the main one that we talk about that powers recruiting inside Salesforce is Assemble, the Assemble ATS, ASYMBL. That's where your Assemble ATS would live. So all of this stuff that you're doing here in this journey builder and passing along all of the outcomes of this could get passed directly into where your ATS is living.
100%. Yeah. And so think about this like as a super powerful tool where you can create those journeys, have that connection, right, to sales. But some ideas here, right? Webinar campaigns, if you're doing a webinar, event, if you're doing an event, newsletters, maybe you have an ebook out there, like you have something on your website to get someone to download a white paper, for instance. But then also like onboarding journeys, we've talked about that, or when a job is coming up. Lots of possibilities here, but what I want to show you is I want to show you an actual email as well, because it's not just the level of customization that we can do on web and that we can do in these journeys, but we also have the ability to really personalize that email on that one-to-one level as well. So I'm going over to Email Builder, which is in Marketing Cloud here. I'm going to edit an email that I've already created in this case. This is an employer email, right? But this could be a candidate email as well. Whatever you want. This is something that I just built within a couple of minutes. It's really nice from a perspective of being able to use these drag and drop blocks. So if you're not a coder, you don't need to know how to code, but you can. But here you'll see, I just got some content where I'm saying, hire the right person for your business. This is about post a job. But then we can do a phenomenal job at personalizing the page to specific to the employer in this case. So let's say, and I'm just going to use the example because we're going with Pacifica Staffing, Pacifica University maybe might be an employer, right? So this email is tailored towards the current job listings of Pacifica University. So we're able to pull up, hey, well, what job listings do they actually have? And then showcase that dynamically. But if this email was sent to another employer, it could be the same email where we're just doing dynamic updates to kind of say, okay, let me pull the information on this university versus this university. And then down here, I have dynamic content based off of use cases. So if I'm sending this email out to employers that are in the education industry, they might get the education use case versus ones that are in the finance industry. They're going to get the finance use case versus the healthcare. So what's really powerful is you don't have to create thousands of emails different for each employer. You can do that one-to-one personalization all within using one email. And we're able to still dynamically update that information based off of, in this case, the university you're sending this email to.
So in a current world of technology where being able to insert someone's first name or insert their email address in the correct spot, or in, like, let's say we know you are a insert job title. In a world where that really is like the, oh my gosh, this is incredible, you're bringing out stuff right now that is just heads and absolute tails above all of that. This is incredible.
It is, yeah. And to your point, right, if I wanted to, let's say, even make this subject line say, hire the right person, comma, first name, I could just pull that information in. And now it's going to say, when this email gets sent to you, it will say Brad, versus when this email gets sent to me, it's going to say Laura. And then, of course, if we don't know your name, for instance, probably shouldn't be emailing you, but there would be a backup and a default, right? So we might say friend or something.
Sure.
So we really do get that level of personalization here to give that candidate, to give that employer that level of comfort that, hey, Pacifica Staffing really knows a lot about me.
That's incredible stuff. So we're talking personalization on completely different level than I'm sure any applicant tracking system has. I've dealt with most of them, if not all of them. They don't have this kind of stuff. This is only stuff you can do if you're recruiting on the Salesforce platform. Yes, you can run emails. Yes, you can run a complete sales process. Yes, you can run an entire recruiting process through an ATS. Yes, you can do billing. You can do invoicing. Literally, we're talking an entire platform on one tech stack of course, phone call, frigging. All right, hang on. We're talking an entire tech stack on one solution. This is the absolute future of recruiting and why I get so excited about it.
It is. That's
Laura,
all I've got, though.
Thank you so much for spending time and showing us these really cool tools. I really think that people should go and look at Salesforce.com. If you don't know it already, you need to go there. You need to check out all these tools. Talk to someone at Salesforce about how you can potentially get these in your hands. Also, if you wanted to look at the applicant tracking system that can power kind of the entire journey for recruiting, look at the Assemble applicant tracking system. Go to asymbl.com. That's what truly drew me to this. I went, this is what Salesforce is missing. That's why I've been backing this so hard. And I truly hope that this changes your entire recruiting journey on the Salesforce platform. So thank you, Laura. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Brad.